I left my daughter at that school, and that decision will haunt me for the rest of my life. Got outside for a while.
Heard from one mother sharing the moments her life turned upside down. Kimberly Rubio's daughter died in the Uvalde, Texas shooting. She and other survivors of gun violence testified on Capitol Hill today. Right now, Democrats in the House plan to pass a package on gun reform laws that is all but certain to stall in the Senate. But bipartisan Senate negotiators are reaching for faint strands of agreement. A young survivor of the Uvalde massacre described the terror and left members of Congress in tears. Bruce LaShan has been watching. Bruce, I guess the question, though, is will that crying lead to some action?
Yeah, and I would tell you what, Leslie, members of Congress were far from the only ones crying, but even this heartbreaking testimony seemed to do very little to bridge the partisan divide over gun reform and gun rights.
Shot my teacher and told my teacher goodnight.
11-year-old Miah Cerrillo described smearing herself with her classmate's blood and pretending to be dead to survive when an 18-year-old opened fire with an assault rifle at her elementary school in Uvalde.
I don't want it to happen again.
Mia's father pleaded with Congress to do its job.
Schools are not safe anymore. Something needs to really change.
Uvalde pediatrician Roy Guerrero described telling parents one child had survived.
I wasn't ready for their next urgent and desperate question. Where's Elena?
And being unable to save others.
2 children whose bodies had been pulverized by bullets fired at them, decapitated, whose flesh had been ripped apart, that the only clue as their identities was a blood-splattered cartoon clothes still clinging to them, clinging for life and finding none.
Kimberly Rubio left her daughter Lexi at the school after an awards ceremony.
I left my daughter at that school, and that decision will haunt me for the rest of my life.
She, too, demanded gun reform.
Somewhere out there, there's a mom listening to our testimony, thinking I can't even imagine their pain, not knowing that our reality will one day be hers, unless we act now.
But the committee also heard from Lucretia Hughes of the D.C. Project Women for Gun Rights, who says her son, Emmanuel, was shot in the head while playing dominoes.
We must prepare to be our own first responders to protect ourselves and our loved ones.
My son, Zaire, has a hole in the right side of his neck, 2 on his back, and another on his left leg.
Danetta Everhart, whose son Zaire Goodman was gravely wounded at the Top supermarket, believes making it harder for deranged killers to get guns can help protect us all.
This should not be your story or mine.
Now, Senate negotiators say that their work has reached a critical phase. It amounts to a modest deal on red flag laws, background checks, mental health, and school safety. We will likely know within days if even the pain you just heard can convince Congress to do something. Leslie?
It sure would be hard to see that they didn't do anything, Bruce, because just listening to it here, it just went all through my body, those words reverberating, the experience they had, and the shared humanity and concern that they have that this could happen and will happen again.
I was in tears repeatedly listening to this testimony. It was very powerful.
It was. Bruce, thank you.